French Shalom greetings to you all. Happy Mother's Day for all you mothers out there. Now, while there are a myriad of mother songs that brighten your day and make you feel good, I always thought John Lennon's Mother was certainly one of the most powerful mother songs, but one that just does not quite capture the sentiments of Mother's Day, being about his abandonment by both parents. And if you've never heard it, the Barbra Streisand version is actually quite fantastic. Mother, you had me, I never had you. I wanted you, but you didn't want me. So I just gotta tell you, goodbye. Goodbye. So everybody, please do celebrate your Mother's Day. Now, whether she's here or not, you can still honor and think of her. Celebrations when communities do come together to honor, to celebrate the events in each other's lives. And since we are a community together, let us all honor everybody's mother. Community strengthens, it enhances, it unifies us. Remember, it is fear that drives us deeper into restrictive, painful ego states and away from our direct experience of true nature. And our true nature is a nature of kindness, compassion, an energy of sharing of thoughts and feelings and hopes and dreams and wishes that unites this great fellowship of soul searchers coming together every week in this community house of spirit, the Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody you know, physically or spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. Share with the Hine Yachad. Hine Matov. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Unity, community, community, together. Together, my friends, was a community we wish every mother a wonderful Mother's Day. Now, if you thought we were finished hearing all about Tameh and Tahor, impure and pure, you're wrong. As I said, these terms, along with the whole idea of separation and division, will come up again and again, basically throughout the rest of the Torah. Now, this week, we're going to hear a lot more about things that are impure and pure. And you might be surprised by some of what you're going to hear and read. This week, we have Emor, say you, say me, say it for always. That's the way it should be. Say you, say me, say it together. Naturally. And isn't that how it should be, friends? Should we not say things the way it should be always? Well, yes, we should. But for some reason, we do not. And I say for some reason. But really, you probably guessed that ego and fear has something to do with it. So even though we keep reading about purity and about separation and division, and we have trouble bringing ourselves to say things the way we always should, we are still brought together by events that can affect any one of us. And as a community, we do rise above everything else to join, to send goodwill and healing to those in need. So let's send some special energy right now, healing energy, out to Helga, to Gabriella, to my good friend Alex the chef, to all of you. Never forget to include yourselves in this. Friends, it is, and to your mothers, of course. Friends, it is the interconnected energy that unites us and heals us. So while still in this special month of healing, let us send out healing energy to all who need it. Think of those you know, for them, for everyone, for your mother, for love renewal, the kindness, healing, the goodwill and love you all send out circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each and every one of you. Mi sheberech Avotenu Makor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage, make our lives a blessing, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Mishaberach, let us all, every one of us, have our spirits and our energy renewed. Well, this rules and regulations section just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? This week we are again presented with a summary, kind of a biblical calendar of God's appointed gathering festivals. As God tells Moses in Leviticus 23:2, these are my appointed times. Now, the appointed times. The laws of the holidays, as expressed in Leviticus, reflect a concern with order and arrangement. God tells Moses to tell the people what the nation's holidays are to be. Specifically, the Sabbath, Leviticus 23:3. 6 days work shall be done, and in the seventh day it is a Sabbath, a ceasing, a holy assembly. You shall not do any work. Now, simple enough, and this is the one that's repeated often, again and again. Then we have the holiday of unleavened bread, matzah. In the first month, on the 14th of the month, between the two evenings, is the Lord's Passover, Pesach, the halting, Leviticus 23:6. And on the 15th day of the month is God's festival of unleavened bread. You shall eat unleavened bread 7 days. Now, that holiday is, of course, the classic holiday of freedom, and was the most important of all holidays in the Torah, and the first holiday of the year. So in tune with the Torah's chief instruction for everyone, I think of that great Pete Seeger classic. We shall all be free. We shall all be free. We shall all be free someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall all be free someday. And you know what? We all will be. Keep holding on to it, my friends. You get an annual chance to claim it every year. In addition to the laws, you see ethics and morals, which all point back to the establishment of social justice and honor and decency, all forming in this fledgling nation. Now, continuing with the schedule, we then have an unnamed holiday related to first fruits. You shall count from the day after the Sabbath, from the day of your bringing the sheaf for an elevation offering, 7 Sabbaths. They shall be complete. Now, 7 Sabbaths, meaning 7 full weeks, Shavuot, and it has a nice touch added. And when you reap your land's harvest, you shall not finish your field's corner when you harvest, and you shall not gather your harvest gleaning. You shall leave them for the poor, for the alien. I am the Lord your God. Care for those who need it most, built in to the fabric of the laws of this people. Now, we then have another unnamed holiday. Now, this one involves horn blowing. Now, this one is obviously known subsequently in Judaism, but never biblically, as Rosh Hashanah, the New Year. Leviticus 23:24. Speak to the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, on the 1st of the month, you shall have a ceasing, a commemoration with horn blasting, a holy assembly. It's on the 1st of the month. And it does come 9 days before Yom Kippur, and it involves horn blasting, So there's a pretty good chance it's now known as the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah. It's not known by this name in the Torah because, as this verse indicates, it came in the 7th month of the calendar, and in the Torah's calendar, the first month comes in spring, and the first holiday is Passover, as we said. And we're told all of that in Exodus 12 too. Now next, we have the day of at-one-ment, Leviticus 23:27. On the 10th of the 7th month, it is the Day of Atonement. You shall have a holy assembly, and you shall degrade yourselves. And you shall bring forward an offering by fire to the Lord. It is a Sabbath, a ceasing for you. And you shall degrade yourselves on the 9th of the month in the evening. From evening to evening you shall keep your Sabbath. And finally, we have the holiday of booths, Sukkot. Speak to the children of Israel, saying, on the 15th day of the 7th month is the festival of booths. 7 days for God. On the first day, you shall take fruit of appealing trees, branches of palms, boughs of thick trees, and willows of a wadi, and you shall be happy in front of the Lord your God 7 days. So your generations will know that I had the children of Israel live in booths when I brought them out from the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Then we get the instructions on the lulav and etrog too. These are the Lord's appointed times, which you shall call holy assemblies. Well, you know what, friends? It's really a simple schedule. It's become a little bit more complicated over time. But for something summed up in a couple of paragraphs, it's really not too bad. And notice, my friends, that in each case, the text gives information on how to celebrate the holiday. And in all but one case, it gives the date on which the holiday is to be celebrated. But what's really interesting is that it does not make historical associations for the holidays at all. Not even connecting the Feast of Unleavened Bread to the Exodus from Egypt or the Sabbath to God's rest at the end of creation. The single exception is the instruction that the Israelites should live in booths during the Feast of Sukkot in order to remember that the Lord and Israel lived in booths when he brought them out of Egypt. That's the only reference to a historical event. Now it appears that the main concern, as with the laws regarding food and purity, is not to explain the background and purposes of the holidays. These things are a concern of Genesis, of Exodus, of Numbers, of Deuteronomy. But instead, it is to instruct the people on how to observe them properly. This is not the book of why. This is the book of this is how you do it. Now, as you read through this, what you may notice is significant repetition of the concept of holiness and emphasis on and use of the term kadosh, the Hebrew word for holy. It's not redundant. It is emphatic. You see, we're still in the holiness section of the Bible. And remember, while all the people are holy, the priests still are holy in a singular way because of their role. So we're introduced to a new term here. HaKohen HaGadol was to be a specific individual, unelected by right of birth. It's the standard term for the high priest, but it could have actually also been translated the high priest from among his brothers. Now, Israel's first two high priests, Aaron and Eleazar, are each the oldest living son. But the high priests in following centuries may or may not be the eldest sons of the preceding high priest. We will never know. And there were rules regarding him and regarding his wife. And he shall take a woman in her virginity, a widow and a divorcee, and a desecrated woman, a prostitute. He shall not take these. And there was also a restriction put on this person. Speak to Aaron, saying, a man from your seed, meaning from his family, through their generations, in whom will be an injury, shall not come forward to bring forward his God's bread. Injury. Now this means a hurt or impairment to his body. Now this has commonly been understood as blemish or defect, but those terms may connote something like a shortcoming in the person. And it's not a denigration of the person's worth or of his ethical merit. The actual list indicates that these are purely physical deformities or impairments that occurred either at birth or later in the person's life. They do not reflect on the character or quality of the person. So like with a sacrificial animal, Physical imperfection or impurity disqualifies the person from being the priest. Now, this can be confusing. Haven't we been taught not to discriminate based on looks? Isn't the true test of a person his character, his nature? Most would judge it to be unkind and hurtful to exclude an injured person from the priesthood. That same standard applies in the biblical world in ethical matters. One must be considerate of persons who are handicapped, as we've read the last few weeks, but in the ritual matter, with the priesthood, physical conditions supersede such considerations. It's very strange. It's not how we think. And in the middle of all these laws, speaking of how we don't think, there's a very odd little story which talks about an incident where the son of an Israelite woman profaned the name and cursed. And they brought him to Moses, and his mother's name was Shilomith, daughter of Dibri, of the tribe of Dan. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Take out the one who cursed to the outside of the camp, and let all who heard lay their hands on his head, and all the congregation shall batter him." And batter him means stone him. Leviticus 24:16. "And one who profanes the Lord's name shall be put to death. All the congregation shall batter him. The same for the alien and the citizen. When he profanes the name, he shall be put to death." Now, the story of the man who we see has an Israelite mother and an Egyptian father is significant. It indicates that this man is an alien, because there would be no reason to make a special point of the fact the law applies equally to alien and citizen if he were a citizen. But what it also does, of course, it provides further evidence that in biblical times, a person's identification was based on the father, patrilineal descent. In every case we have encountered so far, the woman and children take the ethnic and religious identity of the woman's husband. Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, Rachel, Zipporah, and their children. And all the sons of Levite fathers are Levites regardless of the tribal origins of their mothers. I get asked this a lot. Now, likewise, all tribal identification is through the father. It seems quite foreign to us that identification in the Torah is patrilineal. Now, this continues throughout the Tanakh until the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. It's at that point that it would appear to change, because when Nehemiah opposes marriages of Jewish men to women from certain other groups, he instructs that their children be excluded, which means it's now switched over to the mother's side. And of course, in post-biblical Judaism, identification came to be based solely on the mother, matrilineal descent, which is what we are used to. Now, in the Torah, however, it follows the father in every case. And now, identification by patrilineal descent, in addition to matrilineal descent, not in place of it, is a matter of dispute among the movements in Judaism. Now, quite frankly, I think it's a silly thing to argue over. Better to acknowledge a person's heart, a person's soul. How many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? Yes, and how many years must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Theme of our generation, right? Now, yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude. Light a candle. Make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light. And All who live in the light continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. And end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this right together, men and women equally. Let us send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, good healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive, learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. To those you love, that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. God bless you all. Have a fantastic week. Week of love and light, a week of peace. Keep working on manifesting your year of freedom, your new life, with all its new opportunities. Remember, we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You do have the knowledge of what is good and bad, so acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness. Do so with sincerity, accountability, vulnerability. Forgive those you have hurt as you learn to be a forgiving and compassionate individual. Now, do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. Keep on dreaming. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading your joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It's always in front of you. Remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love and in all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year, and may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present, my friends, in your body. Expand your heart, quiet the mind, because the deepest sources of real power lies in consciousness, mindfulness, the ability to be present in all circumstances. Make the most of your time in this life. Recognize your ability to be holy, to influence the lives of those around you. You have all the ingredients. There are big things in store for all of you. As Dave Edmonds said, from small things, mama, big things one day come. Big things do come for all of you, my friends. Now give love. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone's always there for you, whether you know it or not. Be happy, be healthy, be helpful, be kind, and be loving. Happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there. Until next time, Shabbat Shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.